Oh my god! And just rip that sucker right off. As you can tell, when I am turned all the way to the right, this Zerk right here very clearly rubs the tire. Now, I'm hoping that I can solve this by adjusting the bump stop over there so that this will no longer rub. This is a complete custom steering setup right here, because this is the original IH Pitman arm, and originally it would have a ball coming out of the end there that the IH Pitman arm would close onto, and this was level with the frame, this piece right here on the bottom side. Now I drilled the ball out of there, and then I had it taken to a shop, and I had the shop heat the whole arm up and bend out this middle bend in the arm right there, and leave this bend right here, and I also had them ream it to fit a Chevy drag link part. Now the drag link was actually too small that I had on here originally. I had one that was intended for 78 Chevy K20, like a factory one, but it was actually too short. It didn't fill up the sleeve. And you have seen before in either a previous video or the same video, I'm not sure how I'm doing this, that I had taken this one, which is part of a crossover steering setup, and I had cut those threads down so that they would fit in there nicely. And on the other one, it did rub the Zerk as well. Now I have a stack of washers right here because the threads on that are longer, and the IH Pitman arm must be considerably more thin than whatever this is supposed to fit into. It does fit in now. I just have a stack of washers, but that was all in an effort so that when I turn, I clear the frame, because when I turn, it must be towards the left, this Pitman arm comes up and it would rub the frame if I didn't take out that bend to do the custom steering. So I'm going to go ahead and go adjust the bump stop on the other side. I'm going to adjust it by maybe like ½ an inch, and then come back and test this. I just have it on the jack stands right now. I'm going to go over there and do that right now. This right here is the bump stop, and I'm hoping I can pull that out by ½ inch. It entirely depends on how far it is in that threaded spot already. Obviously I've painted this, I don't need to push it in, I only have to pull it out. If this thing's destroyed, I'm just gonna go get another bolt and see if it's long enough and then put it in there. Because I have to assume that any bolt head would probably just fit in there if it's not long enough. And I need at least another ½ inch in there to pull out this way so that this will actually stop when I turn all the way to the right, because that is when the front tire on the driver's side messes up. And I don't think I have to adjust the passenger side bump stop for any reason. So what I'm hoping for is the ability to pull this bump stop out right here about ½ inch. I'm gonna try to do it right now. Okay, got it off just now. Get a light on here. Just got this off. This is the bump stop. As you can tell, this thing is, let's see if we can see it even. This thing's messed up. I totally stripped the bolt head. All the threads on this side are gone, but it always kind of fascinates me because like whatever's inside still looks good. Although this entire thing very, very clearly needs to be replaced. It looks like it's just... Even the nut is like totally shit looking. It looks like it's just a bolt with a nut at the base. You see that? It's just a bolt head with a nut at the base. It might have some kind of like design or something or other, but I'm gonna go look through my part box and see if I have anything similar to this. If I do, I'm gonna be using it. I went over to Tractor Supply real quick just before closing. They close at 9 and it's like 8:10, and I found a good equivalent here. I'm sure there's supposed to be something specific for bump stops, but I just found this grade 8. It's 3/8 24 thread per inch bolt and nut, and obviously you can tell this is longer. First of all, this isn't even long enough. Second of all, this thing is like, it is ruined. I totally meatballed this thing. I mean, it was definitely not going to be saved before I got it. Now, the good thing, though, is that in those bags, it came with 2 bolts and 4 nuts. So I actually have the opportunity to replace the other sides as well. I don't need to, but I guarantee you, it looks like this. So I'm going to go ahead and replace the side I actually need to replace right now, though, and then adjust this to where it needs to go. I wanted to try to avoid it, but I looked right in there and it needs to be cleaned out. So I turned the wheel all the way to the left, and I'm gonna clean this thing out now. Well, I did my best with the tap to try to clean it up. I stripped it out. So what I'm gonna do is go back over there and drill out the hole and just say screw it. Because in order to fix it and still use the threads on there, which are fine thread 24-inch, I would need to order a 24-inch, 2 1/2 inch or 2 1/4 inch long 3/8 bolt. That is a tap bolt, not just a regular hex. The threads would have to go all the way so I could get a nut on both the one side and the other side to tighten down on it and just use it like a hole. The problem is there's only one seller sells those bolts, and they're $38 a pack for 50, and I need one. So I'm not going to buy that, obviously. So I'm just going to say screw the 24 threads altogether. I'm going to take a drill and just drill them all out with 3/8. And I'm going to come back over with this, which is 16 threads per inch. And it's just a carriage bolt that I had laying around. I have nuts for this. I'm going to clean up the threads on this, and then it'll be a nut on one side, a nut on the other side. I'll slide this through, and then this will be the bump stop right here, and this should work just fine. I already checked. I know that I can get a nut on the other side of that thing. I'm kind of just sick of messing around right now. I'm going to get this done. It'll be a little bit unorthodox, but it's not wrong. It's just different. So I'm going to go for it. So obviously I've been messing around with this for a very long time. This thing ended up stripping out. I'm really sick of it at this point. Like I said, I'm gonna put this on there. This is going to be the bump stop. I'm just getting really fed up now. I'm gonna drill out the stupid fine threads that are dumb and ignore them forever. This is a 3/8 drill bit. I'm gonna go and just get rid of this stuff. It's just stupid. Oh, anybody uses fine threads. Alright, now I just have a hole. No more threads in there. It's just a hole. Stop effing around with that stuff. Alright, this is 16 threads. More easily available. This is carriage bolt. Right in. Boom. Super easy to replace. Super easy to install. Super easy in every single sense of the word. And it doesn't even touch this plate, and it goes all the way through. I don't know why they didn't just do this from the factory. It would have been so much better. And everything fits in here. I don't get it. Like, people design things dumb sometimes. I'm complaining. Or, I'm doing it better than the design. Alright. And I also got a lock nut. I mean a lock washer on each side as well. This shouldn't really get in the way of anything here. Alright, so now I can actually adjust this to how I need it. And I have 2 16ths. Look at that, like a glove. It's actually functional now. It's in for design. Alright. Carriage bolt design, whatever. Let's check it out. Okay, so this is my design now. Carriage bolt, 2 lock washers, 2 nuts, hold this thing in, it'll stop right there, and if all is good, all I need to do now is adjust it so that it doesn't rub the Zerk when I turn right. And that's what I'm going to do now, and I'll come back after I do that. The wheel is fully turned to the right now. If you were sitting in there as a driver, it would be you would be turning right. And I am just extremely happy with this because now when I drive, it won't be rubbing right here anymore at all. And I actually didn't even need to do any adjusting because I already had it good beforehand apparently on the first try. And it's not like I'm hindering my steering too much because if I stand up here, it's pretty obvious just how turned the wheels are. I mean, it's only hindering it by like a 1/4 inch, so it's really not that bad. This will keep me from rubbing the Zerk and destroying it now though, and that was the goal here. Now when I turn right, I won't be destroying things. And this is all in preparation of being able to drive this truck down the road. And the only other things we have to do, I gotta fill the front and rear differentials. And then as soon as the front and rear diffs are full, I need to set up the clutch master cylinder, the slave cylinder, bleed that line, and then we're moving. And I decided I'm not gonna get it done before the end of October like I had hoped, but my birthday is November 4th. So I'm thinking for my 20th birthday, I'm going to get to drive this down the street for the first time on my 20th birthday. And I'm just so excited for it. I couldn't be happier. I mean, I got this thing when I was like 15, and I've been working on it for the past 4 years. I think it's going to be a really good present to myself to get it to work on my 20th birthday. So a lot of hard work. I'm excited for it though.
I never got a chance to look in the hole of that master, so I didn't realize that the fitting that we had that had a flare on it was not the type of fitting we need, because the line just slides through it freely. So I got to get this banjo fitting off and then use a banjo bolt, and then we'll just turn this straight down out of his master and leave it straight down. That'll save us a bend. I don't know why anybody would want to come out like sideways here when this thing is universally adjusted.
On the clutch master here, it looks like I ended up painting the mating surface because we ended up needing to use a banjo bolt. Where is it at?
On the line, right here.
Oh. We ended up having to use this banjo bolt here. This actually came off The clutch master that we had in here, it was not the original clutch master. It was from a Ford 57 Thunderbird. We actually thought this was a hack job, but it turns out it's a requirement. We quickly cleaned everything up here and put it back together. We know we probably should have bought new stuff, but we're just going to use it because we don't care. But I got to clean this off right here. This is a little brass brush, because I didn't know that this had to be bare.
So what we got here is Brody's 1/4 inch line that goes to his clutch master. And this is like a little conduit bender, but obviously it's a tubing bender. And you have various sizes, and you can tell what size you need by looking at the little drums. That's too small, because that's probably 3/16. And that's 1/4, which is what this is. And then that's probably 5/16 and 3/8. What we need to do is get this to go straight down and fit into this hole. So clearly we're going to have a 90. And I'm thinking I'm going to go with an overbent 90. So it comes out here and then runs right back down again. And then we'll put on another line that will come down here, turn around here, and get onto this hose right here, which goes to the clutch master. And then I have some rubberized one-hole straps that will strap it a couple times on the way. So, here we go. I bought these tools when I was in high school for doing brake lines, when I was younger than you, by myself, without tutelage. That's how I ruined my high school Letterman jacket. And in fact, in the pocket of my high school Letterman jacket is a Track Auto receipt for brake lines. Track Auto doesn't even exist anymore as a parts store. But your mom is mad at me for ruining my Letterman jacket, crawling around under that 76 Ford F-150.
Alright, I gotta tighten it down on here. I don't know if I said this earlier or not, but we did get the banjo bolt on here, and it's quite nice. It worked exactly how we needed it to. Fluid time?
Fluid time.
Alright.
Last night we tried to bleed after putting in the new lines, and we had to finally give up and call the slave cylinder dead. It seems froze down and we couldn't get it up, even with a hook and trying to manually make it do its thing. So we overnighted a new slave cylinder. And just a little tech tip for you, because the whole world's changing, and this happened to me last time too. On our old slave cylinder, the bleeder is 3/8, and on the new slave cylinder, I purposely bought this wrench last time because they changed the bleeders to 10mm, because we're in a metric world now. But everything else is exactly the same. And I ordered this at 8 p.m. last night, and it was at my doorstep by 11 a.m. today. So thanks, Amazon.
All the way in.
And look at the powdery shit.
Yeah, it's rusty in there. That's what we were thinking.
It's almost, what is it? Is it blue in there?
I don't think so. I think that's an illusion. It's not this blue. I don't think it is, at least.
I don't know how it could be.
No, it just looks like a big dust ball of rust in there is what it looks like to me.
Why does it look...
It is kind of bluish, though. It's weird. Maybe that's just the color of the piece.
Yeah, this thing is ruined.
Oh yeah, it's definitely ruined. We were getting some fluid in here yesterday, though, which is interesting. It must have just been coming right through here, like, super easy, a couple times.
I don't know, but...
Yeah, this is garbage for sure. Same thickness, so we probably still need the washers.
So this is the clutch master that we had on the truck before. We could not get this thing to bleed on the truck no matter what. So we pulled it off so that we can bench bleed it to make sure that we get every damn bubble out of this thing before we put it back on the truck. Because no matter what we did, thinking that we used the actual tool that sucks fluid from the master to the slave and that we had all the bubbles out, we tightened everything back up, we still had weak pedal and it just would never pump up. So now we put it here, we put the old slave on here, we hook the hose up to a bleeder, kind of like a water bong. We are pushing in on the piston, which is pushing air through the slave until it blows bubbles, and we pumped it up until it blew bubbles no more. So now this whole piston is filled with nothing but fluid. But here is where we know that it does not hold its seal. It's leaking out the back here, at the pedal, in the cab of the truck, in the boot. When I let go, you will see fluid. You should not see fluid back here. This thing, the piston does not have a good seal. It's probably sucking air back here even. Because otherwise there should be no bubbles in here any longer. And it blows bubbles every single time and leaks back there. Drips a little, blows little bubbles. You can see the pinhole in the bottom. See the pinhole in the bottom of this master? In the straight down, there's a pinhole. That is the pinhole that's blowing bubbles right now. It should not blow bubbles by now. The old slave cylinder right here, and this was all nasty in here and it wouldn't move. So we knew we had to get a replacement for that. With the old brand new master cylinder, we had no action down there and we couldn't seem to bleed it because that thing was putting out as much as it was sucking back and we couldn't get the air out. This is a bench test of 2 inches apart. When we put it on the truck, it's only going to be 4 feet apart, so I can't see why we wouldn't get all the air out. You can see now that we bled this, and you won't see bubbles in here. You'll see a little stream come up. That's just pressure. And also when I do that, you will see the clutch slave cylinder piston move up and down. I'm letting go now. That's like letting go of the clutch. So then when I push the clutch again, that slave cylinder is designed to push the rod, which releases the throwout bearing on the actual clutch. So here I push, that pushes up remotely, And it's basically like remote control. Fluid pushes this, which pushes the mechanical linkage, which on an old truck would have been mechanical all the way, with cotter pins and rods and so on. So now we're gonna put this all back in. Oh my God! We're gonna put this back in the truck. See, there's no bubbles. That's good. Now we put this back in the truck. It has pressure, like the other one never was hard to push like this. It was always easy, and it always pushed and it just sucked and blew at the same time. This one holds pressure. We feel good about it. The other one was defective right out of the box, and we spent 2 nights screwing around with it because we couldn't believe that a brand new part could be bad, and it 100% was, and that was a setback because we could have been driving that truck last week, I bet. Because we had to wait for this one to come. It took another week, so we're going to send the other one back.
We finally are done bleeding this thing. That took a stupidly long amount of time. We got a new clutch we got a new slave cylinder, we got a new clutch master, half the lines are brand new. We had to rig up this whole tool with this fuel pump here and put that on the clear line and use this, and that actually worked out quite nicely because our normal pump couldn't do enough. Now the pedal actually feels good and it does what it's supposed to. Push the pedal. Do it again. See, it's actually disengaging the clutch now. And it's working fine. Look. And it springs back and everything. That took way longer than it should have.
We got about 10.5 hours in bleeding and total frustration, total give up. We replaced the master cylinder because we were mad. I'm not even sure the other one was bad at this point, but we're sending it back anyway because we don't need to have two $56 master cylinders.
Well, all we got to do now is fill the front and rear diffs, and then on my birthday, my 20th birthday, we're gonna drive this thing down the road for the first time since 1986. I'm gonna be the first person to drive it since 35 years ago. So first time it'll have an IH engine in it since the early 70s. In 86 it had the first Buick engine in it, and they tried putting in the other one, and the other one like failed miserably, and we had to pull that out and put our BG 241 straight 6 in here. That looks good now, and first time ever with a brake booster kit. Everything's in here is nice, nothing's cobbled together anymore and looking like crap. It's just going really good. Alright, well, we're gonna just fill up these differentials now, and then we're driving it. For the first time in 35 years, this truck is gonna move right now. November 4th, 2021, my 20th birthday. I got this thing when I was 15 years old. Very excited. This is the first time it'll move with an IH engine since the early 70s. The first time it'll move in general since 1986. There was a Buick engine at that time that blew up in it. I have spent so much time, effort, money since I was like 15. I couldn't be more happy. Let's do this. We're gonna go. No brakes though, but everything else is good.
first time Brody's ever driven this truck, and it's the first time it's moved under its own power since 1986-ish. And it's his birthday. He wanted to wait till it was his birthday. No wiring in the thing right now. We hot wired it, trigger started it, and I have a residential grade switch between the seats to simulate a key turn. And he hasn't even stalled it. And there's absolutely no brakes at all.
What now?
Brett, back it up.
What?
Back it down there.
Reverse? Alright.
Wait.
It's so nice.
You gonna go back down and come back again?
What?
You gonna do the whole thing over again?
I don't know, you wanna do it?
You can make it stop.
I'm foot on the clutch.
Well, fade over there and get one wheel in the grass.
Oh my god, okay. There's no muffler.
Steers about like mine.
Yeah, it's not bad. not go down the hill. Turn around over there. You got where the roads meet. You got a bigger turn radius.
I'll back up. If it ever stops.
Oh yeah. 35 years. Oh, yeah.
We're in third gear.
Oh my God.
I don't want to do it on film. I don't want to drive on film.
Yeah.
You're doing it, come on.
Oh God.
Give Dad your camera. Hold on. I want to slow down the idle. cannot believe that Brody's letting his little sister drive his truck on the first day. He's giving her a tutorial on how to drive a stick shift, and he himself barely has any experience. I'm going back for the cones. Oh, she just dropped the clutch and the truck stayed running. Addie letting go of the clutch for the first time ever. She almost killed it again. She needs to turn that wheel really hard. Now she's got to turn it back. Just let off. No. There's no brake, so gravity's making it roll back down to the cul-de-sac. Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? Put it in neutral. Just let it roll to a stop. I can't believe you didn't stall it. You dropped the clutch. I can't wait to watch that video. You guys, you both went like...
You're just taking us out of me!
Patty, get on the other side, let's go.
Both?
Patty,
What?
get in the passenger seat.
You have it on the widest angle.
Closing this video out. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, share our PT. Moved for the first time in 3.5 decades. Next year, we're gonna get this thing legal on the street, on the road, good to go. So that's the plan. Have a good one. I'm gonna go. Empty. I missed the can. There's so much grease in here. Oh, it's all over my phone now. Oh. This is gross. This sucks. Right in the camera lens too. Hey, a little bit shinier now. Gross. Grease. Alright, now that everyone can actually see, I can get back to work here.
When you're driving around and you hear that annoying rattle, always be sure to check for walnuts. Get your bar started on your other side. Well, everything is still kind of loose.
Oh, that's on recording now.
It was me.
It was definitely you. That's going to the outtakes.
Oh, Then we start it up and drive away. Clutch down. Reverse at 70. Ruined it.